Hi, my name's Miles Humrick. Throughout my life, I, like many of you out there, have been to the doctor for a number of things, whether it's a cold, a dislocation, whatever it is. I've had a lot of experiences with doctors where I've tried to explain to them the things that I'm dealing with in my life. You see, I live with FASD, fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. And over the last few years, I've made an effort that when I'm speaking with a doctor and I'm explaining to them whatever's going on, that I also tell them that I do live with FASD. And it's been quite interesting. You see, I kind of did a little test where I would see what the doctor's reaction was. I've had great experiences and not such great experiences. There was one time when I told a doctor that when they asked, is there anything else we need to know? I said, oh yes, and I live with FASD. And they go, okay. And I looked, and on the paper, she wrote PRAQ, just 4 random letters. It wasn't even FASD. I just kind of wrote it on the side and was like, okay, yeah, thanks. Obviously, she didn't understand that that is something of importance to know. You see, FASD affects the whole body. It affects the bones, the muscles, the tissues, the brain, everything. So if I'm in there and I'm talking about having problems breathing, and they say, do you smoke? And I say, no. And they say, are you athletic? And I say, yes. And they say, do you work out? Do you run? Do you do these things? And I say, yes. And they go, okay, well, maybe you just overexerted yourself. And maybe you need to cut back a little bit on your exercising. What they may not understand is with my FASD, I have a heart murmur, which is something that is very common with individuals with FASD. And when the doctor asks, is there anything else we need to know? And I say, I have FASD, if they don't look into that more to go, okay, so what does that mean? Then I'm not going to know to tell them, well, for me, that means that I have all these physical issues that I deal with, and one of them is that I have a heart murmur. So the doctor may not know to look at that as the problem to why I might be having problems breathing. The reason that's important is because you want to get the proper medical support that you need. And it's about getting the proper understanding from the doctors. That's why it's important for doctors, everybody out there, but important for doctors to understand what FASD is, how it affects every part of your body. I've had the opportunity to work with some pre-med students, and when I talk to them, I say, so what do you know about FASD? And quite often they share that, oh, it's caused from the mother drinking alcohol during her pregnancy, and it means that your brain develops differently. And I say, yep, but do you also know that it has now been seen that it affects your bones, your muscles, your tissues, things like that. And it's not uncommon for me to hear, oh, we didn't really know that. We need to get that information out there so that people working in the medical field know that, so that they can best support individuals such as myself that are coming into their office. So when we say, yes, you also need to know that I live with FASD, that they know to go, okay, so how does that affect you? What other things do we need to be aware of? It's so important to understand the effects of FASD, but it's also important to understand the realization of where FASD comes from. And that is from mothers drinking alcohol during their pregnancy. Now, this is a conversation that can be very difficult in any situation to have. It's a conversation that many doctors may have an opportunity to have with a mother who is pregnant and going to be giving birth to a child. Why is that important for the doctor to understand about FASD? So that they can have a good conversation, a conversation that has the proper information in it, so that they can share that with the mother. Because the reason that individuals are born with FASD is because the mother drinks alcohol during her pregnancy. The reason alcohol is being taken in by mothers during their pregnancy isn't always because they don't care or they're too busy with their own lives. They may not even know they're pregnant, or they may not even know the effects alcohol has on the developing fetus. This is where the doctors can play a huge role in being able to share the information about how this affects the child, how it affects their brain, how it affects the bones, the muscles, the tissues, the joints, the whole body that's developing during that pregnancy. The importance that alcohol can really cause some damage to the developing fetus. If the doctor can have that conversation to give that information, the mother may understand that and go, you know what, okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm very aware and I'm not having alcohol. I'm not having these drinks, because even though we don't know exactly how much alcohol at what times cause what effects, we do know that alcohol does affect the developing fetus. And that's the message that needs to get out there. It's not a doom and gloom thing of don't drink or you're a horrible mother. It's simply just a message of just to help you and your child. You need to understand that drinking alcohol during pregnancy can cause some issues. So we really say, try not drinking any alcohol. And by doing that, by understanding that you could affect the child, then you can make those different choices. By having people in society like doctors understand this, by having people like doctors being able to support that message and pass that message on, it's really going to help a lot of people out there to make different choices and be more informed.